Okay. All right. Call the order, introduction and ability statement, Title 5, non-discriminatory statement to be read by the chair. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones and telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Walden at 508-853-1833, extension 202. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protection of beneficiaries with regards to the federal title, what's that, 6? Non-discriminatory protection, and the state non-discriminatory protections is posted in the meeting room and is available on the Oak Colony Planning Council's website. Please contact Mary Walden at 508-583-1833, extension 202 for more information. Thank you. All right, if that's it, we'll go to our first. Okay, until Noreen gets in, we'll call the order minutes. I need a motion for the minutes of June 3rd, 2021 meeting.
Actually, Dan, if I can interject for a second, so I do a roll call.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right.
No, that's fine. It's unclear if we have a quorum right now, so I'm just going to do a roll call and see. So Abington, anyone from Abington on here?
Here, Bruce, alternate.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. Avon. Okay. Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Avon.
Yeah, Bill's here.
Okay, Avon's here. Good. Anyone from Bridgewater? No. How about the city of Brockton? No. Duxbury. East Bridgewater. Easton.
Here.
Thank you. Halifax. Hanover.
Christine.
Thank you, Christine. Welcome. Canton.
Yes, John Howard.
Thank you. Kingston. Okay. Pembroke.
Yes.
Plymouth. Okay. Plimpton. Stoughton. I know John's here.
Yep, here.
Thanks, John. West Bridgewater.
I'm correct on what I'm saying. Yes.
And Whitman.
Dan Savucci, alternate.
Noreen O'Toole. I'm here.
Thank you. I think that's a quorum. I'm not.
Yeah, so we have MassDOT as well.
Yep.
Anybody from BAT?
I'm Guyler.
So yeah, thank you, Glenn.
Right.
I think we're right at the 50%. So.
Yeah.
You guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so yeah, that's a quorum. So thanks, everyone.
Okay. Noreen, you taking it?
Okay.
Okay.
Item number 2, which would be public comments. Okay, hearing none, I'm going on to item 3, which is the minutes of June 3rd, 2021. Do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Item number 4, which would be Sean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is a small selection of communications items for this month. The first one is a correspondence from Gregory Enos, Town Administrator of Avon, regarding traffic calming solutions for the Route 28 and Main Street in Avon, Massachusetts, that dates back to June 2nd. Next item is correspondence from David Gagne, Town Administrator of West Bridgewater, to MassDOT, seeking authorization to implement a 24-hour heavy commercial vehicle exclusion on Scotland Street, dated July 12th. The next item is a statewide bicycle survey from MassDOT, which is looking to conduct a survey of Massachusetts residents. They're seeking information from bicyclists across the Commonwealth To learn more about why and when people ride a bike, if you would like to fill out the survey, please click on the link. They will be accepting responses through August 19th. And the next item is an announcement from the Baker-Polito administration. $6.5 million has been awarded to municipalities in shared streets and spaces program funds. There are 2 awards that are in our region. One, the town of Plymouth, they received $193,000 for safety improvements at 5 vulnerable intersections. And the work includes signal upgrades, new crosswalks, as well as ADA compliant ramps. And the second, the town of Whitman, received just over $184,000 for curb extensions, ADA compliant ramps and crosswalks, as well as other items for the intersection of Washington Street at South Avenue and Temple Street, Route 27 in Whitman Center. The next item is another MassDOT announcement for $6 million in Complete Streets funds. We have one community in our region that received an award. The town of East Bridgewater received a little over $372,000 for new sidewalks, bicycle racks, rectangular rapid flashing beacons, tactile warning panels, and speed feedback signs at numerous locations within the town. Approximately 40% of the total award dollars will fund projects located in environmental justice communities. Municipalities may apply for up to $400,000 for funding the construction projects. For more information on this program, please click on the provided link. And then the next is a letter. I'm sorry, this is just a copy of the correspondences that I had previously mentioned. And I believe that is it. Yes, that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions for Sean? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move on to item number 5 under reports. The first item is BAT, and that would be Glenn, I think, today.
Hi, Noreen. Thanks so much, Madam
You're
Chair. Greetings from BAT. A couple key announcements today. Just use this time to remind everybody that if you ride on board BAT, we're still requiring that you wear a mask. So thank you in advance for that. Our free weekend service continues. That's scheduled to go through the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. So we hope that people are taking advantage of our free service on both fixed route and paratransit. And I think that's it for today. I know we're going to talk a little bit later about the public participation plan, of which BAT is a proud member, whereas that public participation plan also applies to us. So I'm happy to answer any questions, should there be any. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Next item is GATRA, the Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority, and that would be Sean.
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair. There's just a quick update in terms of GATRA. They have added another vehicle for their GATRA Go coastal and micro transit service. GATRA is continuing to work hard as Council on Aging's and rehab facilities are opening up to full capacity. With the Delta variant spreading very quickly, their upcoming, their near future is undetermined at this time. But with their fixed route service, they are back to full service right now.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions for Sean? We move on to item C, which is a South Coast Rail, and that would be you again, Sean.
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair. Just to look a couple of updates within the last few months, they've made some good progress on both the Fall River as well as the New Bedford lines of the project. They have replaced and installed new tracks at multiple locations on both lines. They have continued tree clearing on from Myrick's Junction in Berkeley heading south. They have replaced multiple culverts, preparing to install retaining walls on the Fall River line. They initiated replacing the railroad bridge over a Sonnet River in Lakeville, and they have also worked on multiple railroad crossings, I believe 2 of which resulted in street closures and detours And then just additional other work such as site preparation, utility installation, and other sites have continued on both lines as well. And if anybody is interested, if anybody is interested in signing up for the weekly updates, there is a link at the bottom of that staff report.
Well, thank you, Sean.
Sure. Question for Sean?
Yes.
Yes.
Sean,
ahead,
have you heard anything from the MBTA on South Coast Rail with respect to the infrastructure bill? Are they planning on using federal infrastructure money for phase 2 of South Coast Rail?
So I have done some research on that because I believe you've brought that up at previous JTC meetings. All I can say is that I do not have an answer for that. I have not been able to find any literature that states one way or another if they will or will not be using it. But I will continue to check, and as soon as I hear a response, I will be sure to bring it up at the following JTC meeting.
Appreciate you keeping your ear to the ground. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Sean? All right, I'm going to move on to item 6 under old business, which is the 2021 to 2025 TIP implementation program. Charlie?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So as you can see on your screen, we're scrolling through the federal fiscal year 2021 projects, and those first 2 projects have been advertised for construction bids, and they're well on their way. So that's great news. And on the next page, highlighted in yellow, you can see this more recently, the Stoughton improvements at Rich Wilkins Elementary School, the Safe Routes to School project. The bids were open on July 7th, and the low bid was $2.6 million in round numbers. And the low bidder was Aqualine Utility Incorporated of Weymouth, Mass. So that's all 3 highway related funded projects have been advertised. So that's great news for us. And you know, we look forward to the implementation of these projects, and we certainly thank the communities and MassDOT for all of their hard work on getting these projects ready to go. And as we're scrolling through, the next update is in federal 2022. It's a Procton project on State Highway, and note here that the 25% design resubmission package was submitted to the MassDOT District 5 in the Boston office in early July, and this is for the intersection improvements and related work on Center Street, Carey Street, and Lyman Street corridor. And this project right here, it's good news to see that this is at the plan specifications estimate resubmission stage. Was submitted back in June for the Pembroke Route 36 project. This is you know, the hallmark project for the upcoming federal fiscal year, which starts October 1. So it's great to see this project at an advanced stage of design this early in the new federal fiscal year, which is forthcoming very shortly. So good to see that. And as we're scrolling through, there are no updates where it's not highlighted, but you know, people can ask questions as we go through this. I note here the next update is in Avon. It's the improvement project at Route 28, Spring Street and Harrison Boulevard. And I note here that where this is a state highway location, MassDOT has issued a notice to proceed to begin work on a contract, and I believe the designer is Fussin O'Neill. So that's definitely a high priority area of need. It's a high crash cluster, and it's wonderful. And to see this moving ahead, and we extend thanks to the town of Avon for expressing the need for this project, and to MassDOT for embracing the project need and moving this project ahead in the design process.
Yeah, thank you.
And here's a new color in our color coding matrix. Yellow was like update, but just reinforce that this is an update on the 21 through 2025 TIP. So I didn't want communities to get nervous if they didn't see their project listed earlier up in one of the programmed years. So what we did here was highlight in blue for the Easton Route 138 project, Elm Street to just connect to the recently finished project at 138 at Union. So I just put a note here to say, hey, you know, though not currently programmed in the existing tip. It is programmed in the upcoming tip. So, you know, that's good news, and we look forward to the implementation of that project. And a little further down, same with Hanson. It's not programmed in the current tip, but the tip that goes live on October 1, it is indeed programmed, and it's full cost in years 2016 and 2017. So we just wanted to spotlight those projects and say that there's funding and programming on the way for those two. And that's, you can scroll back up just a little bit. Right there, yep. So good news to report. Speaking of action in Washington, D.C., whether it's the reauthorization bill or infrastructure bills, with regard to the House version of the INVEST Act, it's the reauthorization of the federal transportation legislation. It's typically the multi-year bill. Most recently was the FAST Act. I note here that in the House version of the bill, there was an earmark for the intersection at Canton at School and Summer Street. It's listed in that infrastructure bill. So still a long way to go, but certainly thanks to Congressman Lynch and all his team and efforts in the town of Stoughton for raising the need for moving this project ahead. So we'll keep tabs and keep our fingers crossed that this project remains in ultimately the signed version of the bill. So I don't know if there's any questions at this point. We can certainly entertain those.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
No, this is Don Howard.
Hi, Don.
Charlie,
Yes.
how are you? On here, it's on McQuon Street there. It wasn't listed. You know, I know Hanson paid their 25%, but if there was any way that Hanson paid the remainder of the money for that TIP program, would that make it come up faster on the screen?
Yeah, so Bill, could you scroll back to the Hanson project where it's highlighted in blue? So Don, right here, it's what ultimately, originally what we report on as part of this update is the current TIP, which ends at the end of next month. But the new TIP, which starts October 1, we are programming the Hanson project, the McQuon Street in the TIP. So that's fully funded in the new TIP, which starts October 1st.
What I'm saying is I think they paid 25%. I'm not positive. I think they have. If they paid off the rest of that program, would it help to go on any faster?
As far as construction funds, or
yes,
are you referring to design
construction funds doing the job?
Well, certainly if Hanson's willing to pay 90% of the project cost to implement it, we can certainly find little gaps in the federal and state money earlier in the TIP. But that's something we can certainly work offline with you all and Hanson and MassDOT and to see if there are slots available earlier. Because right now it's carrying a cost of about $10 million. So
right.
Do you have an idea of how much Hanson's willing to pay towards the construction?
Well, I'd like them to see him to pay 100%, but where it's a bedroom community, we don't have any outside money. So
yeah.
But if they had any way of accumulating the money, that's what I was wondering if it could be speeded up a little bit. That's all.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely one way to speed up a project if there's a willingness of a community to contribute towards the construction of the project financially. That means that the program costs and the TIP would be less, and we could actually look for slots where this could fit, because one of the things with the TIP is we have to maintain financial constraints. So it's difficult if we're programmed out with existing projects to accelerate a project. And just secondarily, one of the things that we do every year is, and throughout the years, is monitor with our partners at the MassDOT to see how projects are progressing in the design phase. Some projects move faster through the process than others. So sometimes projects are more complex, or sometimes maybe it's just an intersection, so that can move quicker. But we've seen projects definitely jump over other projects because the pace of their design has been more rapid.
All right. No, because I started them about the same time Pembroke did, Route 14 from Hanson to 53. They're all done, and we haven't even started yet. That's why I was questioning. So, thank you very much, Charlie.
One of the concerns with this project is the depth of the water line with regard to the pavement, and there was some concern about the proximity of that water line if they're actually going to do a full depth reconstruction. And there's a concern that it might disturb the water line and delay the project and potentially increase the cost. So I believe MassDOT and OCPC would like to meet with the town of Hanson and then the designer environmental partners to get some reassurances that the designer is actually considering something other than full depth reconstruction from bookend to bookend.
Right, I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Charlie. Any additional questions for Charlie from other towns? Thanks again. I'm going to move on to item 7, which is new business. And that's the draft of the Old Colony Public Participation Program. And that would be Ray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bill, if you could stop sharing your screen for a minute, I'm going to try to put up a slide here. Oh, I guess this is, not sure if it's working.
Yeah, it's working. I can see it.
Oh, okay. How come I can't see it? Okay.
And you increase the size of it?
Wait a minute. Okay. Trying to, I had a different one here. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I can't, let me see. I can increase the size. Okay. How's that?
A little bit better.
A little bit better? I'm sorry. But we have updated our public participation plan, and it's currently in 45-day comment period, which I believe will end next week on the 9th. And this this plan is an update of the 2017 plan, and it has it's based on the guidelines by MassDOT and federal guidelines outlines our outreach efforts, and it covers products, MPO products, UPWP, our Transportation Improvement Program, Long Range Transportation Plan, CARTA studies, road safety audits, and local transportation assistance. So our public transportation plan covers our products, but it also covers our process too, and it outlines how we reach those populations that are traditionally underserved, and as well as people with disabilities. And as Glenn had talked about earlier, it satisfies the public hearing requirements pertaining to the program of projects for Brockton area transit. What is new in our 2021 public transportation plan is we talked about remote meetings and accessibilities, because COVID has changed a lot of the way we do our meetings. We established measures of effectiveness, and we also began the Reflections and Action Task Force, Opportunity and Action Task Force at Old Colony Planning Council. Within our plan, this is just a summary of the different ways that we reach the public through our website, and we've started our newsletter, and we still use traditional media, and as well as social media and public events. As I said, we're in our 45-day comment period. The MPO has released a draft, so if anyone wants to look at the draft, it's available online. We did have some comments from the FHWA, and we're going to put all those comments together. They said that we need to be more specific on the measures of effectiveness, or come up with some targets from measures of effectiveness, and also explain more about our accessibility for the remote meetings for disabled people or people that need help. And also they were concerned about the timing between our public participation plan and Mass DOT, which has been delayed. But we do have an amendment process for our public participation plan, so that we will be in sync with Mass DOT. We will review theirs to make sure that that we are in sync with them. So that is a very quick summary of what we've done for the public transportation plan. If anyone has any questions.
Ray?
Yes.
Stardino. The concern I have, and I don't know if you've addressed this in the plan, obviously I don't have access to the whole draft, is the concern about people with access to computers and internet, having an alternative for those people. Does your plan address that?
We don't. I don't think we do address that. That is a problem, internet access.
So one of the things that we do old school, though we're in a virtual world, we haven't given up on having the ability to meet with people in person, or to have people come to our office by appointment, and we can certainly provide paper copies. One of the hallmarks of our public outreach is that we will also go to community groups, provide presentations, and to try to go where the people are in person. So, we're not saying that we're going totally virtual and digital with this public participation plan. It's more that those elements are being added to this plan, and we're continuing all of our previous in-person outreach capabilities that we can. Of course, mindful of the ongoing pandemic and potential restrictions and social distancing and masking. But that's something as Ray did mention, it is posted on our website for review and download. And what we can do is provide paper versions to people that requested. And when we do go out public, we have copies of it available with us to distribute. And something we've done in the past, and we haven't done it during the pandemic, was to partner with our regional partners at the Brockton Area Transit and have table events at their intermodal center with draft documents.
Either for Charlie or for Ray, what about linguistic issues and challenges?
So one of the things, as you may have noticed on our agenda, we have the ability to provide real-time translation at public meetings, and upon request, we will translate documents, and we have in place a process where we would actually use the UMass Translation Center to translate entire documents upon request. That's something that we don't do in advance, but that's something that if we do get the request, we can have those translations done. And one of the things that we're working on right now is identifying what would be the so-called vital documents of the Metropolitan Transportation Planning process. And that would be the public participation plan, the long-range plan, the transportation improvement program, and the unified plan work program, and to have summaries of those documents translated into Spanish, Haitian Creole, to have those ready to go if we happen to have a public outreach event. That way we could have it for easy distribution. One of the things that we're looking at too is to have real-time translators upon request at virtual meetings such as this. That's one of the capabilities that we would work with the UMass Translation Center for. If we did get the request, somebody could come up and do real-time transcription into other languages upon request.
One other follow-up question, Charlie, and that's I don't know if we do this now, but do we sign during the presentations that you're doing virtually?
ASL, that's American Sign Language. That is something to upon request. We don't do it now, but that's something that it's on the table for consideration to do that upon request, or is that something that we just do as standard operating procedure?
Well, I'm just noticing the pandemic has highlighted the public reporting of the pandemic issues, as well as all those state and federal press conferences seem to be with signers. So I'm just raising that point. We should probably follow suit with respect to that as well.
Hey, Charlie, this is Steve Higgins. In regards to providing sign language, one of the main things is if you're going to be conveying anything that's of an emergency or something like that, that you should consider always having the folks that do sign language interpretation available. And if you're planning in advance with MCDHH, the Mass Commission for Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and we request sign language for an event and it's not needed, it can be canceled up to 24 hours prior to that event. And at Independence Associates, we still have the ability to transfer into what's many consider a dying language, and that we can still transpose documents that you have into Braille. So if there's anybody here that needs a document and it's in a Word format and it needs to be transposed to Braille, we can do that at Independence Associates.
Thank you, Steve. That would be very helpful, and thank you for the guidance as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Charlie and Ray.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Ray? Thank you, Ray. I'm gonna move on to the, go ahead.
So I believe this was an action item, Ray?
Okay, I saw endorsement there, and I just wanted to kind of wait on your direction there.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Do we have a motion on the floor to endorse the draft Colony Public Participation Plan?
So moved.
Okay, could I second that? Second that endorsement?
Second by Whitman.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries for the public participation program. And thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
I'm going to move on to item B, which is the road safety audits at multiple locations for a project status and update, and that would be Bill.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So as we're rapidly approaching the end of our program year, I thought it'd be a good time to give you all an update on where we stand with this project. It's been a very successful project, so successful that we're in fact looking forward to rolling it out again next year for round 2. So as you can see on the screen as I scroll down, we've done 12 road safety audits so far in the region, which brings us very close to our goal. Our goal was 15, and we will reach that goal. So we've done a couple in Abington. We had 3 in Brockton. We have another one programmed in Brockton. Easton, Hanover, Kingston, a couple in Plymouth, 1 in Stoughton, and we just had 1 in West Bridgewater just this past week. It's been very successful. We've had a very good working relationship with our partners at both the district, MassDOT District 5, as well as the safety division of MassDOT up in Boston. We've gotten great support from our legislative delegation, Majority Leader Claire Cronin, Senator Brady, Representative DeCoste, Representative Dubois. There are, you know, I know that I'm leaving out others, but I think pretty much every road safety audit that we've had representatives from our legislative delegation, which is awesome. We really appreciate that. It brings, we appreciate what they bring to the table, and also gives attention to these areas of local concern in the community. So it really means a lot, and as well as the communities themselves. We the public safety and the planners and the select boards. So it's been really great program. Can see a few locations that we have targeted in the near future. So we have Bridgewater, another one in Brockton, as I said, East Bridgewater, and another one in West Bridgewater. So with that, if anyone has any questions on that, on this program or any of these individual audits, happy to answer them.
I just wanted to add a comment to the road safety audit programs is, when I was working for municipalities and the programs were being conducted, I think it's a great program, and that all you folks at LCPC do a marvelous job explaining to the community and the group, and the ones that you did, I know in Stoughton, they were just quite a few people that would come to the meeting, and you'd go through all the steps and what the goals were. So a big thank you to the staff for putting these together. I think this is a big part of what you do, and I know the towns really appreciate the staff coming out with their expertise on these programs. So just a big thank you to everyone involved in this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Anybody have a comment or questions on this? All right, I'm going to move on to the Oconee Active Transportation Study, project update and status, and that would be Ray.
Thank you. I need to share my screen. Thank you, Bill. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yep, thank you. And I just can't advance it. Why won't it advance? Okay. Oh, there it is. Ah, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry. So our active transportation study, the purpose is to improve pedestrian and bicycle connectivity. We want to, it's both for commuting and recreational uses. And to, with bicycles and with walking, intermodal connectivity is very important. So we want to connect to transit, bus stops, and passenger rails. We're going to focus on that. Gap analysis, we have looking for any gaps in the system for our sidewalks and bicycle, regional bicycle system. Again, we're looking at previous studies. We're building on our previous reports, and hopefully we'll get some specific projects that will be funded, through the TIP or other means. We're looking for opportunities to enhance and expand our bicycle and pedestrian network. This is just showing some of our previous work that we've done on pedestrian and bicycle connectivity. You can get these reports on our website. Just go to our website and go to reports, and it's right there. Dangerous by Design has been put out by Smart Growth America. It was done by Nelson Nygaard, I believe. But what has happened in the past 10 years is there's been actually an increase in pedestrian fatalities in the United States, and we're not on a good trend with pedestrian fatalities. And again, it affects different people differently. It affects elderly people different than younger people, and also by ethnicity. People who are in poorer neighborhoods and people who are minorities are affected differently. They have a higher potential for fatal pedestrian crashes. What we've done is we have looked at different locations where we've had some crashes with pedestrians and bicyclists, and the patterns have emerged that some of the arterials, usually major arterials, minor arterials, and major collectors are some of the places where pedestrians have more of a or likely to get struck. So we know the factors that are responsible in pedestrian crashes. I took this picture. This is Belmont Street near West Street, and the bad news is that it's very dangerous to cross here. The good news is this is part of a TIP project, and a lot of that's going to change. But this is a typical problem where you have access to these commercial plazas on major arterials, and there's a lot of access to the neighborhoods. People can actually walk to them, but the streets are not really, they're not really designed. They're designed for automobiles and speed, but they're not really designed for pedestrian safety, and that has to change, and that's being recognized. So we know the factors and the locations where it's dangerous for pedestrians. Whoops, what happened? Oh, no. I don't know what happened there. Oh, no. I don't know why I lost my, oh, I'm back. Okay, that's good. This is a design for that TIP project, and that same photo that we saw, this is the same location there.
Ray, we can't see anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why.
You stopped sharing your screen, so I think you need to hit share
Oh,
screen.
I need to go back to share screen again? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, there we go. Can everybody see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. I apologize for that. Okay, so that last one was that TIP project, and that same photo where the kids were crossing the street. And we have crosswalks, and we have pedestrian buttons. We have some sidewalk gap analysis. We're going to use GIS to locate those areas in our towns, in our communities where we need to add sidewalks. And this location here is on Route 123 in Abington, and it's near the Walmart. And I wanted to show this really quick because this is another area, like I said, we know on the bottom right over here, you can see that there's no real crossing. There's no pedestrian button or crossing to get across to the Walmart. And on the other side, in the top left, there's a gentleman who's walking along this path there, and you can see the path and the roadway here. So again, this is a TIP project. And this is the Safe Routes to School, which Charlie actually had on the TIP list before another project to improve walking near the Wilkins School. I didn't show, there's a lot of projects throughout the region, but these are some I just wanted to highlight. So our study has a bicycle level of service, and I just wanted to show how we get bicycle level of service, and it's based on a formula that's been developed for the highway capacity